The wait for VR's first big MMO seems to finally be coming to an end. Let's talk about it. What's good, everyone? Welcome to Cook VR. Today we are going over the new VR MMO coming out on all platforms today, which is Zenith: The Last City. Today we're going to be covering 3 topics quickly about the game, and that is character customization, the Zenith world, and last of all, the combat. Before we start, I'm going to have chapters for all 3 of those subjects in the description below, and you'll be able to see them on the timeline right there. So if you have anything specifically that you're looking for, just jump to those. If you're new to the channel, we play and talk about and review everything VR related. If that sounds interesting to you, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell to be notified of my weekly uploads. Without further ado, let's talk about Zenith: The Last City. A quick overview of what Zenith is. It is going to be a open world MMO VR RPG, which is going to be on Oculus, Steam, and the PlayStation Store for VR, and it's going to be selling at $30 US. At launch, it's said to have over 100 hours of gameplay just at launch, so expect even more as they continuously update and continuously add content to this game. The World of Zenith is inspired by anime and JRPG titles, and it will have a very vast exploration world, and it looks absolutely beautiful based off of all the trailers that we've seen. Alongside the vast exploration that you can do, there is also, obviously, MMO combat. And in that combat, you have 2 classes at start, which are Blade Master and Essence Mage, which we will talk about shortly. Up first for today is going to be character customization. From what we've seen so far, when it comes to body types and everything with character customization, it seems to be quite lacking, but hopefully, maybe they might be having more details and more things that you can add to your character's body types, like muscles, height, everything like that. But at launch, it's just male, female, skin color, things like that. It isn't terribly extensive, but we'll see what comes in the future with those. On the other side, there is, of course, cosmetics and armor and things like that. And from the few things that I've personally seen from the cosmetic upgrades, it seems to be very extensive. There seems to be lots of different types of armor, clothing, swords, everything like that. So at least at launch, you can customize what your character is wearing. You won't look, or they won't look any different when it comes to their body, but at least what they're wearing, they'll look a little different. But of course, this is all at launch, so there isn't a whole lot right now that we know that we can talk about. So without holding this off any longer, let's move on to the World of Zenith. The vast World of Zenith ranges from things in plains, deserts, coastal environments, forests, and of course, the actual city of Zenith. The Fractured Plains is the remnants of the Prefecture era, which was reclaimed by nature over the last 65 years, with a very small population of rural towns, which will serve as a strong agricultural source for the entire world of Zenith. And based off of the pictures, it just looks very beautiful and post-apocalyptic and very interesting, so I'm excited to see what that looks like in VR. Next up is Radiant Coast, which will be located up on the northern area of the World of Zenith. And if you couldn't tell by the name, that is going to be a calm seaside town with absolutely gorgeous views from what I've seen. However, there are said to be bandits who will randomly raid the entire city, and if you want to go in the water, you gotta be careful because there are creatures who will just kill you at an instance if you aren't too careful. Next up is the Emerald Desert. Now this was home to lots of ruins and relics, and it was also home to the largest airship port on the World of Zenith. However, most of it was taken out by the Fracture many years ago. I'm interested to see how it is, so there isn't a whole lot of information that I currently have right now for the Emerald Desert, so let's move on. Next up, second to last, is the Aramite Forest. This is home to the Aramites, who are a group of tribes who revere the goddess of Amara. She is a naturalistic god who gave life pretty much to all of the creatures in Zenith, from what we've been told. This is a very secluded and peaceful location where I'm hoping you can just go and relax, but most likely you'll have to fight some enemies to be able to relax. And last of all is the city of Zenith itself. This is a very powerful city, and it's very populated There's lots of shops and everything that you can do. I'm feeling like this will be your main hub in the entire world, of course, and I imagine that lots of the story will take place in Zenith itself. If you've made it this far in the video and you're liking what you see so far, make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification bell. It really helps me know if these type of videos are things that you guys like to watch. Let's go back to the video. Last of all, I want to briefly touch on the combat of Zenith. It is, of course, an MMO, so you will have kind of that repetitious combat that you see in most of them. However, of course, since it is in VR, I'm hoping that it's much more engaging, and from what I've seen and from what I've heard, it seems to be that way. The sword fighting, you can't just flick your sword around, you have to actually swing, you have to wait for your stamina to grow, and you have to actually be strategic with your fights. There are two classes that we touched on earlier, and that are the Blade Master and the Essence Mage. And those two classes, of course, are pretty self-descriptive, but we will go into depth with those, starting off with the Blade Master. Now, of course, by the name implies, the Blade Master is mainly going to be using swords in their fights, and you will be very up close and personal and having to move quickly in your battles. So if you enjoy being up close, having to strike as fast as you can, being very strategic with your swings, this will probably be the class for you. If you're not, maybe the next class will be. Now, of course, the next class is the Essence Mage. And if you're a fan of the fantasy world in general, you'll know that the mage is pretty much a sorceress, and they have magical powers that they can use, and in this game, you're, of course, still being able to use magical powers. I've seen that you can use firewalls as one of your abilities. Another thing that I've seen is a lightning strike. You can slow down time in a specific area, and if you're wanting to be a little further back and be a little more able to throw anything that you can and surprise your opponents with any random things, the Essence Mage is probably a good fit for you if you enjoy doing that type of thing and if you enjoy using magic. Alrighty everyone, that is a very brief guide of Zenith. If you want more detailed guides, I know there are quite a few already from people who have actually played the beta of Zenith. This is all just a lot of from what I've read and from what I've seen of Zenith, and I'm very excited for this game. I'm very excited to start playing it, start putting out some content for it, because it looks like a very good MMO, and I'm really hopeful that this will be VR's first big MMO. But of course, time will tell. But also, from what I've seen, it looks pretty good. So take that with you what you will. If you have anything else that you want me to cover, whether it's in Zenith or just VR in general, any other games, any other products, be sure to leave a comment down below, and I will of course be sure to reply to you, because I appreciate any comments and any feedback that you guys have, whether good or bad. I don't care. If you liked the video, be sure to subscribe again, hit that notification bell, and if you like it enough, please leave a like. If you didn't like it, please leave a dislike, just so I know. Stay tuned for any upcoming Zenith content. As I said, I'm very excited for this game, and I want to make a lot of content about it because it looks very fun. Alrighty everyone, that's all I got for you today. Have a good one. Bye.